What's up, YouTube? Beautiful fall day today, and I'm going to be talking about this Kenmore 4-burner grill that I had found on the side of the road. It's curbside discard. It had a free sign on it, and when I found this thing, I'll put up a picture here of what it looked like before. It was completely covered in mildew and mold, and looks like it had never been washed. So when I saw this on the side of the road, I was saying to myself, grills are never good rehabs. You always end up dumping a lot of time and you never get the long haul out of it. But I took a look at this thing and I was like, man, 4-burner, it's and actually the top of it, I could see no rust at all. And when I quickly opened it up, I could see that there was a lot of rust on the inside, but the actual frame, the cover unit, when I looked in the sides, I did not see any rust spots on it. And I was like, you know something? I'm going to take a stab at this. So what I did was went ahead and grabbed it and I took it home, and I could see a couple of problems. I'm going to take out the grease pan. So this grease pan is normally at the bottom, and you can see that this thing had literally never been covered. So it's got rust and all kinds of nastiness, but it is just a grease pan, so I wasn't as concerned about this. However, when we took a look down in the inner guts of it, if you will, these tubes here are the actual burners, and then you have the distributors that are sitting on top of this thing. The heat distributors were pretty much rusted, as you can see, and you can see that this middle burner in particular was in really bad shape. I mean, it's completely rusted out, just flaking off in spots. The other burners actually weren't bad. Like this is still serviceable. Same thing with the other ones. So immediately what I'm doing is I'm just kind of looking at this and kind of evaluating how much money is it going to cost me if I was to get this back up to a serviceable level, versus going out and spending new money on a brand new grill. And so I took a peek on Amazon, and I found that at least for the Kenmore models, getting this style of burner was fairly inexpensive if you went out and purchased these in a large package. So individually they can be kind of costly, but if you just purchase an entire packet, which would include the burners and the heat distributors, regulators, the package in and of itself, when you bought them, all four of them together, wasn't too terrible. So I went ahead and I got a new box. And so we'll go ahead and open this up right now. So the box contains basically everything, right? It's all wrapped together. So let's go ahead and open this up. So the kit includes the 4 burners, and I've got the 4 new heat distributors. And then there's these joining brackets that allow the burners to connect to one another. I was just eyeballing it, and I don't think these things are going to be long enough, but we'll get it in there and see how she fits together. So that's what you get, man. And I tell you what, for the price, it's a really good bargain. I'm going to take this thing I found on the side of the road, and I think be able to make it completely serviceable with a very low minimum outlay, other than my actual labor hour cleaning this. It took me about an hour to get most of the grime and grudge off of at least the surface area of it. Believe it or not, this was, even though it's coming out beige right now, when I first got this, it was solid green. So let's take a peek inside. I've already lifted out the rusted out heat distributors, and so now all we got left are the burners. And so you can see that these things are just held together with those joiners, and this one's even missing a Phillips screw. So I'm going to go ahead and take my handy dandy Phillips screwdriver. We'll go ahead and unscrew those first, and then we'll lift the burners out. Well, as it turns out, I won't have to use the Phillips screwdriver at all, because these things are so rusted that they're literally just falling right out of the hole. That's pretty rough shape. It's a good thing I ordered 4 of them. All right, let's get this thing out of here. All right, my daughter's going to do some of the filming while I keep my hands free. So as I was pulling this out, there's only one igniter, which is this part right here. And when I press this button down here, it shoots out a spark, which will ignite the propane. So what I have to do is detach this and attach it to the new gas burner, which is what I'm doing right now. Thankfully, that screw was not completely rusted. Igniter's out.
And tell me, how are you going to unrust it?
On what, sweetie?
How are you gonna unrust it, Dad?
Unrest what?
These.
Oh, you mean take it out? I'm just pulling it straight out. They're not attached to anything other than the brackets that we're holding them together. So I go ahead and I just take the screw and I pull out the screw. Most of these screws are already rusted in place. So.
And what happens if these are damaged already?
Well, that's what we're doing. These are all damaged. This one was probably serviceable. I probably could have kept it in. But as you see, as I turn it upside down and I bang it, all this rust is coming out. So for the price of what we're paying for the new ones, it's just worth it to go ahead and just replace it. So that's it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put the new ones in. So this is literally just dropping it in place. There's nothing very sophisticated about this, although I have to make sure that the lip here is facing downwards and connects to these two dots. So
it's going to face downward, everyone watching this.
See how simple it is? Just drops right into place. It's not rocket science.
Rocket science is school.
Okay, so I had mentioned before that I have this ignition wire that I have to take care of. So I need to get that back into place. Oh, you know what I just noticed? Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay, it doesn't matter.
Tell us, what is it?
Well, what I noticed is that the holes were on either side, and you notice on this one there's only 2 holes for the ignition wire, and there's nothing else. And I was just checking to make sure that the holes on the ignition wire were on the right side.
Yet there's only one.
Yeah, so what am I going to screw it into? I have nothing here. Let's flip it over this way so that the screw holes are on that side, even though the lip doesn't catch. Nice. I just pull these joiners out of their package and realize that they're adjustable, so I can slide them to any width I need to. So that's really nice. So I'll go ahead and start attaching these things right away. Okay, it's pretty simple. You just put it in place and you just go ahead and pull it out. It's telescopic. And line up the holes, then put in the screws. Okay, the new burners are in, so now we're going to go ahead and put the heat distributors in. Oh. There we go. Yeah, fits like a glove. Okay, they're all in and looks pretty good, fit like a glove. So the next thing I'm going to have to do is go ahead and get myself a propane tank, because that was not included with this roadside find. So on to the next project.